Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago. Yesterday, the Trinidad Express asked this question to the public. They said, "Dear Express reader, do you believe citizens are still allowed to protest freely here in Trinidad and Tobago?" It's a very serious question, and there's a valid reason for them asking that question. My response, Queen Kamala has made it clear that you are allowed to protest. But there's a huge but not near the specific state institutions required to send a powerful message to the government, DPP, or Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. And therefore, it isn't really effective anymore. If you cannot go near these areas like the Parliament or by the Police Commission, the Police Administration building, or by the DPP to protest for any reason, then you are basically infringing upon the citizens' rights to send a message, a direct message, a strategic message to the state. You want them to go and protest where? Where exactly? In Karani? I want to know. I'm trying to understand. That people is taking autocracy, taking communism, taking us much closer to a dictatorship than ever before. You know what's the sad thing? The sad thing is the Ground Report would have condemned this new policy if PNM was still in office. They would have been saying dictatorship, dictatorship, dictatorship. Now the Ground Report isn't approving of everything. But I'm saying their passion, their statements would have been much more powerful. And as a matter of fact, the last time I listened to them, I did not hear them condemn this new policy. As a matter of fact, all they're saying is abide by the law and abide by the rules and be wise on how it is you're going about doing protests. I want them to come out and say that what is taking place is wrong, because you know what the thing about it? Even the normal trade unions will no longer be granted permission to protest in these areas under this SOE. And it seems as though the Queen may very well end up governing for the next 4 years using an SOE. So therefore, it's not just about crime. Citizens' rights to protest peacefully will be infringed upon for her entire term in office. I wanted to say this woman deceived us all. She pretended to be a defender of democracy. But when we gave her the second term in office, she chose to become Idi Amin and Robocop. Idi Amin was a tyrant. Go and Google it and you will see. An extreme tyrant in Africa. And Robocop because she supports the police. Blindly supports the police. Nothing wrong with supporting the police if they're doing good. Not when they're doing evil and they're corrupt. It's a rogue TTPS. TTPS well known for extrajudicial killings. Just like in the case with Kaya Sili. The government and the TTPS wants us to believe them. When we are seeing exactly what took place in that video. She's actually more evil than Rowley, which I honestly thought was impossible for anyone to become here in Trinidad and Tobago. The Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission is seeking the public's help following 2 acts of vandalism at its Wassa Betham substation in Port of Spain. In a media release, TNTech noted that on May 29th, crews responded to an outage after control cables were cut and removed. Power was subsequently restored within 30 minutes. Then on the morning of May 30th, security footage captured a man entering the compound. While attempting to cut cables, he triggered an explosion and fire before fleeing the scene. I wonder if it's possible to probably put like guard dogs or something like that, well housed there, proper kennels and things like that. But guard dogs on these compounds, I don't know. To me, and I mean, you don't have the cameras already, but you may not be able to afford, and make sure you carry, you have people to go and carry to feed the animals every day and whatsoever. And shifts, you don't leave one animal there all the time. Just like police and just like whoever then, security guards or whatever, right? If you can't afford to put guards in each of those areas. I don't know, that's just a suggestion, right? The fire caused damage to infrastructure, though only the nearby wastewater treatment plant was affected. TNTech is urging anyone with information to come forward, reminding citizens that tampering with electrical systems is dangerous and can result in serious injury or death. It's also really senseless. I will never understand why these individuals will want to steal whether it's the copper or whatsoever in order to be able to go and sell it in the scrap iron places, businesses, which is supposed to be rejected by these dealers anyhow you take it. But the point is, you want to do it to be able to eat a food, to make a dollar. When at the end of the day, it's going to affect your friends and families in these areas. Maybe the guys out doesn't reside in that district, because it's ridiculous. You want to go without water in order to be able to go and make a couple $100 selling some cable wire. That's ridiculous.
Trinidad and Tobago weather report for Monday, June 1, 2026. The weather for Monday, June 1, 2026 in Trinidad and Tobago will be fair to partly cloudy, hazy and breezy with a maximum temperature of 31 degrees Celsius and a minimum temperature of 26 degrees Celsius. According to the Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service, significant concentrations of Saharan dust will be present in the atmosphere, so individuals sensitive to changes in air quality should take precautions. Brief, isolated morning or midday showers may temporarily interrupt the hazy conditions, particularly around midday when the chance of precipitation peaks near 55%. Winds will blow from the east to east-southeast at speeds of 10 to 40 km per hour with occasional gusty conditions. Seas are expected to remain moderate with wave heights ranging from 1.5 to 2.0 meters in open waters and near 1.0 meter in sheltered areas. Spring tides will be actively in effect and sheltered waters may occasionally become choppy.
Regional news now. President Dr. Irfan Ali has assured fisherfolk at Goed, Fortuin, West Bank, Demerara that the government's waterfront and fisheries development project remains on track and will not result in the displacement of vendors and boat owners operating in the area. But that's a good leader. Irfan Ali, one of the only good leaders that we have in the Caribbean right now. But even I am telling you, because I'm covering the news in Barbados and throughout the region now, I'm seeing that even Mia Motley is doing quite well. The president gave the assurance during a visit to the community where he assessed flooding and drainage conditions and engaged residents on concerns affecting their livelihoods, serving the people and doing it quite well. International news now. President Trump pitches a massive MAGA rally to replace the Freedom 250 concerts after several artists backed out. They don't want to be affiliated, I guess, with Donald Trump or whatever. We should have a giant Make America Great Again rally for 250 instead of having overpriced singers who nobody wants to hear, whose music is boring, and yet who do nothing but complain, Trump said. Now, that's the thing about it. You could have come out and say, you know what, we will do this instead. You didn't have to insult the artists on them. Because you know why? If their music is so boring, Trump, why did you invite them to participate in the celebrations to begin with? Why were you willing to pay them these hefty fees, these payments, if it was that you found their music to be boring? Trump, don't be like the fox that started to complain about the grapes being sour because you couldn't get the grapes. I mean, come on, man. That is being ridiculous and petty, childish. What you're doing there, I'm not saying it was right for what they did for backing out. You don't insult people because of that. America's next economic powerhouse takes shape in Texas as companies abandon the Bay Area in California. Too much of taxes. Everything is taxes in California. A new report shows Texas attracted 230 corporate relocations between 2018 and 2025, with Dallas, Austin, and Houston leading the charge. Meanwhile, California suffered the nation's steepest corporate losses, with more than 160 companies moving their headquarters out of the San Francisco Bay Area, citing taxes, labor regulations, and soaring costs. But you know what's the problem, though? A lot of these individuals leave and they flee California and other Democrat states, and they go to these Republican states and start to transform them more into purple states. I believe it's purple is what they call them. Instead of red and blue, the purple. What they're doing is making it closer and closer to becoming a Democrat state. You are running from Democrat states because of their bad governance. Why would you come and still continue to push the leftist agenda in these conservative states? It does not make sense. It's counterproductive. And when it becomes a Democrat state, what are you going to have to do? Run and go to another Democrat state, Republican state to infect it as well. Change your voting patterns. You know that the Democrats and the leftists are destructive in their style of governance. Oh gosh, when you go to the Republican states, Vote for Republican, man. The Spanish flag fell during the Armed Forces Day Parade in front of the king. King Felipe VI watched it happen in real time and could do nothing about it. Like, oh my goodness. How symbolic that the flag, Amir Safati said this, huh? I didn't give this commentary, but I agree with it. Amir Safati, well-known Bible teacher, a Jewish Bible teacher, born-again Christian. How symbolic that the flag fell while Spain itself is falling under a progressive left-wing government that has embraced the lies of Hamas and the false promises of socialism. They're pushing a lot of anti-Zionism. And of course, Amir Safati also knows, and I know, that even the far right is becoming extremely anti-Semitic and support and pushing the same types of anti-Zionism narratives like the radical left and the jihadists outside there. It's sad, the times that we are living in, but the Bible said that in these end times, I don't know where people have come up with this, as though things are going to get better and revival and stuff like that. It had revivals, and I'm not saying that it wouldn't have revivals in little pockets in certain areas throughout the world. But there ain't gonna be any worldwide revival in these end times, people. Things are just gonna get harder and worse. Evil will abound in the end times. And then the end will come. Yes, the gospel will be preached around the entire world while the evil is abounding. And then the end will come. It never said, and then there will be a revival and then the end will come. It never said that. Telling you, even TB and a lot of these pastors going astray. It ain't have that thing like any worldwide revival. All is going to be happening in the next few years. Very soon, we don't know exactly when. There's going to be the Ezekiel 38 war, when the kings of the north are going to try to invade Israel. Russia will be heading it most likely, and then Iran will be part of it, and Turkey. God will lure them to come towards Israel and then utterly destroy the armies that attempt to invade into Israel supernaturally. And then, of course, it's going to have the 7-year tribulation period, Jacob's trouble, the final 7 years in the prophecy to complete Israel's promise before Christ returns. And that's when the end of the times of the Gentiles will come to an end. And God will return his focus back onto Israel, and he will use that 7 years in order to be able to discipline them and to minister to them. And in the end, those who survive in the end, all Israel will be saved. They will look upon him whom their ancestors pierced, and they will weep. They will be sad. They will repent because of their lack of belief for generations upon generations. And Jesus will return, and that's when the revival will take place, not before that.
Bible quote of the day. John 14:14-17 NIV. You may ask me for anything in my name, and I will do it. If you love me, keep my commands. And I will ask the Father, and he will give you another advocate to help you and be with you forever. The Spirit of truth. The world cannot accept him because it neither sees him nor knows him. But you know him, for he lives with you and will be in you.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's headline news. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe, most of all. In Jesus' name.